Be loud, be loud, be courageous every day, that's what I'm talking about. Be loud, be loud, be courageous every day, that's what I'm talking about. Be loud, be loud, try new things every day, that's what I'm talking about. Be loud, be loud, be creative every day, that's what I'm talking about.
Hi, I'm DJ Fire, and I today am with Elsa Kern with Fishpot Studios. We're going to have a conversation. All right, so what is your connection to Fishpot Studios?
Fishpot Studios was started by my husband Josh in England many, many years ago, and he moved here to start a film about Professor Longhair, a musician from New Orleans, and he came and bought this film studio. It was not a film studio, it was an abandoned warehouse, and he started working on it, and we met on set, and then we finished the construction and opened the company in 2019. So I am a producer and director, and he is a cinematographer, producer, and director.
Wow, that sounds really cool. What would you tell a young person if they wanted to get into the film business?
Well, I think there's a lot of ways to get into the film industry, and I think the one that I would say avoid is to go to film school. I think it really is about meeting people, and so if you find out local production companies in your area, calling people, saying you're interested, offering yourself as an intern, or just even visiting the studio, it's really about making contacts and having people know who you are. The reason I say stay away from film school, everybody has their own path, but I think it's very expensive, and I think they teach you only one way, and that is not how film is. There's a variety of ways you can do things, and I think creative solution is a big part of making films, and I see people that kind of lose that go to film school. Yeah. So I think you can do it without that.
So kind of, like finding your own way and, doing it yourself so you can explore different options in the film industry.
Yes, exactly, because there's so many departments, there's so many positions in film, and oftentimes you don't know what part you want to be in, and so it's really just about getting on set and really making people know who you are. Becoming a production assistant is always a really great way to get experience and learn what every department does, and then eventually you can kind of see where you gravitate.
Yeah. So what was the full process of you getting here? Like, how did you end up in Fishpot Studios? How did you make yourself known?
So how it started for me is I made movies when I was young. My parents had a camcorder, and I loved filming everything, and so I knew I always loved making movies. I just didn't know you could have a career in that, and I didn't have the opportunity to go into a creative school when I was that age, so I went in for something else. But it wasn't until in my 20s, when I was out of college, that I ended up meeting somebody at a party, and they said they were involved in film, and that got me so excited because I didn't realize people my age were working in film. And he said, well, why don't you come check out this short film we're doing? And so I went on set to see what they were doing, and after that he ended up calling me and saying, hey, my boss is looking for somebody to run our camera company. Would you want to come and apply? And that was it. So I started managing a camera rental house. So for big films, the films need to rent a lot of camera equipment. And that's where I kind of understood the background of what starts to happen on a film. Met a lot of producers, and they invited me on set. And once I quit that job, I ended up just working full-time on commercials and films.
Wow, that sounds like really cool. Like, you had this passion when you were young, and you were able to turn it into a future for yourself. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and there was a long period in between that wasn't happening, and I could sense there was something off.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to always listen to that thing inside you, and we always veer off course, but as long as you listen to yourself, you can always get back on the path.
Yeah. What is the biggest lesson you've learned while working here?
There's a lot of lessons. I think the biggest lesson in working in film, because it's an industry that requires no resume, there's a lot that may ask for resume, but oftentimes it's really just about who you know and your connections. And so it is so vitally important, not only just in film, but as human beings, to be as kind and generous and attentive as you can be, because you never know what the next job is going to be. You never know who that person is going to become. You never know what the next opportunity is. And so to always be humble, to always be kind and generous and aware on set and in life can always lead to the next step.
Yeah, I guess there is a lot of lessons working in film, but I think that's really, significant because, learning about it for yourself, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, this was DJ Fire and Elsa Kern from Fishpot Studios.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem.